Hi, this is Keri, and I'm a brain aneurysm survivor. This is part 4 of my journey, or actually part 5, I think, of my journey now. I had gotten through my angiogram, had terrible run with doctors, got a second opinion, found a new doctor, had the angiogram to 3D, the brain aneurysm that they'd found, and that was in December, and so I'd gotten to New Year's Eve, and I've got to tell you, those weeks after that angio, I found myself just preparing myself to be not here. I was so stressed about putting all my paperwork in place. I did my will and my health information so that, the doctors and nurses could know what I wanted should I die at some point on the table or whatever. I wrote all my requests for my funeral. I wrote my messages to everybody. Actually, I video recorded them because I thought that would be the most personal way to do it. I cried a lot over the New Year period, Christmas, New Year period, thinking that this might be my very last Christmas, my very last New Year's. I would be on my veranda and just be looking outside and just smelling the air and looking at the blue sky and the clouds and the birds and my pets, my cats, just hugging them a little bit more. I found that being with my partner was very hard because emotionally, every time I was close, I just felt like heartbroken because I thought I was leaving, and I found that really hard to be close because it always made me feel so sad, It was really hard to explain because people around you really want to support you, but in seeing them, when you see them, it makes it harder because you're kind of grieving for your life, I guess. So I got through January, and in January we got the date for the main surgery, which then became kind of real again. It was February 14th, which was Valentine's Day, and I kept on saying, a day of love. I'll have love surrounding me, and that'll be a really good energy around me and a very good thing. It'll get me through it. As the days and weeks went by and we got closer to that date, I was becoming more and more nervous. But at the same time, I somehow found a grounding where I think I could just accept what was happening as necessary, and it was out of my hands, and I had to put faith and trust in my doctors and just hope for the best. So somewhere in that month, I settled, and I just accepted what was happening. I knew I had to be really strong, not only for me, but for my family. And I gave myself a goal. My goal was that I have got these beautiful grandsons of mine. They're only little, and I want so badly to be in their lives. I want more time with them. So I really hoped that these doctors would save my life. So February 14th came. We actually had a night with family the night before, and I watched the sunset, and that was beautiful. And again, I was thinking, this could be my last sunset. It was so beautiful that afternoon, that evening. And just the closeness of everybody, giving me the support. And I went to bed and I slept good, actually. And I woke up really early because I had to be at the Mater Hospital for the angio intervention early. And I remember getting up and I went and had a shower, and I sat on the bed in just a towel wrapped around me and just looked into the mirror and just said to myself, this is it. They're going into your brain. You know, they are going into your brain. And I just kept thinking, I never ever thought that this would happen to me, that I would be having brain surgery of all things. I mean, so many other things before brain surgery. You know, a brain aneurysm. I still kind of couldn't get around that this was actually happening, you know. We left for the hospital, and when we got there, I was actually in good spirits. I had friends and family around me. I was laughing. When we went in, when the doctor came in, he actually went through the list of things that could go wrong. He said, I have to tell you this. And I was still smiling because I kept on saying to him, well, you're not going to let that happen to me, are you? You're going to take really good care of me because I want to live, you know. And so we went in, and I walked in again, said goodbye to my family, and that was really hard too because, again, you're thinking, if anything goes wrong, I'm not going to see you guys again. But I put on my brave smile. And walking in this time round was kind of, I felt, I don't know, comfortable because I'd already done it before, so I knew the process. And I also knew this time they were going to be knocking me out, so I wasn't going to know much about it anyway. So the same process, I lied in the bed. I actually got really nervous on that when they lied me down. I had to hold the nurse's hand because I really felt extremely nervous then. And she reassured me. And Dr. David Leggett was there, and he reassured me. And then I was out. I could feel myself going out with the medication, and I was unconscious, and they did the intervention. They actually went in and did coils. I had some coils put into the aneurysm, and that sealed it up. And then they had to put in, because I had a wide-necked aneurysm, I had a saccular wide-necked aneurysm, which isn't an easy one because it's so wide-necked. You know, the coils can come out. So what they had to do was put in a stent as well. And when I came out, I remember seeing my family there, my friends. I know I was awake for some of that time. I kind of don't remember much else for quite a while. I think the meds were pretty hefty. I was getting a lot of medication. I did have pain in my head. I could feel the discomfort. I struggled to open my eyes properly. They were very sore. My groin was extremely sore. And I remember easing into ICU. I had great carers there. It was really lovely at the Mater. Very, very professional in the ICU unit. I was in and out of sleep, I think, that night. That night, it went fast. I don't remember much because I was really groggy. But I woke up and I could feel on this side, I could feel a tingly sensation happening down my face on my left-hand side. And I didn't know whether it was just the drugs or what it was. And then I had this sensation also down my arm, down my legs. And I just said to the nurse, I feel really tingly. Is that supposed to happen, you know? And she said, oh, okay, well, we'll keep an eye on that. The doctor came, and I had doctors and nurses then all around me, and they were checking on me and getting me to try to move. And I can remember all this really well. I must have been on hypervigilance, something like that. And I was having a little bit of trouble moving, actually. And then the doctor said to me, well, we're going to ring Dr. Leggett. And this is like 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:30 in the morning. And I said, oh, no. Please, don't bother him. I'm okay. They said, no, we need to check this because there can be clotting. And I'm like, oh, no. So the next thing I know, they're piling up the bed. I had a trolley over the top of me. I had the paddles, just in case I died on the way down or while I was down there. I had injections ready to go with stuff to get my heart going. when I looked at all that, I was like, whoa, okay, this is actually more serious than I think. It's serious. So they rushed me down. Everybody was just crazy. It was just a crazy, crazy moment. And I knew when we were going down there then that I was in a little bit of trouble here. Something was not right. And we got down there and I had a CT. Anyway, Dr. Leggett was there. I felt really guilty bringing him out at that time in the morning because he'd just done a full day of surgery and had another day of surgery as well. So I felt really bad. But he said, look, it looked okay in the CT, but I'm not happy. He said, because we've got this tingly stuff, I want to go in and have another look. And I went, what? And he said, we're going to do another angio. And I'm like, no way. I'm having another angiogram? I was just devastated then, totally, and so afraid. I just had all my fear come back to me. The doctor held my hand and he said, I'm coming in with you. They took me in to the angio room again, and I was really stressed out this time. Everyone was so tired. The whole staff were there. They were exhausted. And one of the nurses actually dropped all of the stuff that they were going to put into me. Dr. Leggett turned around. He wasn't happy. And I was a little bit nervous because she had to pick everything up off the ground and reset it. And I'm thinking, are they going to put the right stuff into me? I was so nervous then. Unfortunately, was awake for it as well. I was actually more awake than any other time, and I felt more of that angio than I did any of the others. They think that it was microclotting that was causing it, and I went back to the ICU. I was there for 3 days actually, and I couldn't move my left side. It ended up going into like a paralysis, so I had no left side movement at all, and I couldn't feel it very well. After 3 days, when I was stabilised, they then moved me across over to the other side into the main Mater hospital, and I was there for another, it felt like forever, but I think it was there for another just on 2 weeks or a week and a half. I had assistance with some rehab people came in, some physio, and they were trying to get my legs working. I was on a walker, but I couldn't really use my leg. It was just wouldn't lift. I couldn't feel my arm or my hand. My grip was pretty terrible. I could use it, but it was terrible. And my face was all tingly still. They then moved me from there to the Greenslopes Hospital, where I caught up with my brain surgeon. I had a little bit more rehab while I was there, but they were waiting to get me into a full rehab. While I was at the Mater Hospital, I had some issues also with the catheters, and unfortunately got a really bad infection in the catheter. I got the E. coli infection. I had a problem with a nurse while I was in that hospital as well, who unfortunately left me in because I was having trouble going to the toilet with all the medication, so they were giving me all sorts of things to make me go. And she gave me an enema and left me for over an hour while I lay in my excretion. The Mater Hospital were very apologetic and extremely, well, they wanted to make time for me, let's put it that way. I think they thought that I might sue them. I haven't yet. I don't really want to because, it's not really what I want to do, but it wasn't a very good thing. I really went through a lot there. So when I got to the to the Greenslope Hospital, I've got to fly here unfortunately, they actually treated me for the E. coli infection. I had some more tests, had another MRI just to check what was going on. I still couldn't use my arms and legs, so I ended up getting a placement in the St. Vincent's Hospital and then was transferred by ambulance again there for rehabilitation. I was there for 3 weeks rehab. And I'll tell you more about that in the next video, so it's not too long. Okay.